This podcast is for conversation and educational purposes only. I am not, let me repeat, not a mental health clinician that's allowed to give you medical advice to go do some dumb shit. Yes, I said dumb shit. I do curse to express my individuality, so if that offends you, then please don't motherfucking listen. Now, y'all, enjoy the show. Are you tired of that bullshit? Tired of that bullshit. Toxic people in relationships. Toxic people in relationships. You may be dealing with a narcissist. Are you dealing with a narcissist? Who puts you down in every argument? Down in every argument. You might be fighting your depression. Are you fighting your depression? Trying to figure out the lesson. Damn, what's the lesson? Maybe you're looking for your soul. Where she at? Where he at? But the dating scene ain't looking great. Well, I'm two keys and I'm in town. What's up? I'm gonna help you lay them burdens down. So please enjoy this episode of the Sexy Nurse Chronicles. Welcome to the Sexy Nurse Chronicles mental health podcast, where we sip tea, y'all. This is the point where you get your tea glass if you got one. We sip tea and talk about love, life, relationships, and all those good old mental health topics. If you are new to my channel, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe. If you're on my audio podcast, make sure you download, because we got some good stuff coming. So this is an episode that a lot of y'all have been waiting for. Everybody's like, Kiki, how did you make it? How are you so successful as a nurse practitioner? So this is an episode where I'm going to tell my nursing journey and give y'all some tips on ways to become successful. If you're not in nursing school, you're thinking about it. If you are in nursing school and you're trying to elevate your degree, I just came to give y'all a little hope today. So everybody has to have a why are they doing this, or how, what inspired, who inspired me. And so, believe it or not, I have had a drawing to older people all my life. And I was, I think I was like 9 years old. Me and my friends, childhood friends, I think my little sister was about 5. We did this without any parental permission. This was back in the day where you could roam the streets all night. You could play out all night and have a good time, and you got to be in the house when the street lights come on. So we're back in that day, if I'm telling my age. But I just felt compelled to go to a nursing home that was right up the street from my house. And we just went up there. We bought popcorn. Our little young asses, it was two other friends of mine. They were just as young. And we went up there to the nursing home, and we were just like, hey, can we come in and can we sing Christmas carols to y'all? And they were like, sure. And so they leaded us straight into the cafeteria, and we sung our little hearts out. I'm just going to say we spread it out popcorn. We gave popcorn. And, that's something that inspired me. Just as a kid, just going out the blue and doing it. And so not too long later in my life, my granny, she was passing away. She was at the nursing home. Everybody was busy. Everybody had something to do, and everybody was like all crowded around my granny. So I would just randomly just walk into patients' rooms that were there. And we just had some good ass conversations. And that warmth is what really inspired me, and my mom was always saying, well, you should be a candy striper. For those that don't know what a candy striper is, that's basically like a volunteer CNA. You just go in and care give. And so that, inspired me. And then I guess when I was about 18, my high school sweetheart, his sister, Candy, shout out to Candy Boo. She said, come up here to my job one night and come and just help me with some of the patients. So I was like, okay. I'll come. And so I came, and it's the middle of the night, and we moved some patients around. I helped her a little bit. I was like, okay, I think I could do this thing. So I went and I applied for the CNA program. And so this was the real test, because I've always had a liking for geriatrics, older community, nursing homes. The real thing came when I had to, I think it's like five weeks of the nursing program, the CNA nursing program. And so the first 3 weeks was class. The next 2 weeks were didactics. Were hands-on clinical. And so I had to realize, do I know how to deal with poop, shit? Do I know how to deal with pee, blood, and all those bodily fluids? Would I be able to take it? So everything was good. I got through the class part, came to clinical. I was ready. Now, they said in clinical, do not go anywhere without your leader, your preceptor. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stick by the rules. If anybody know, I bend them sometimes. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Well, I was sitting in the hallway, and a call light came on. When what about nobody was around, and I just kept on going and kept on going off. And so I went into the room. I knocked on the door. I was like, knock, 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 knock. And so I opened the door. I didn't see anybody, but I heard somebody say, "Help me, help me." So I was like, hello, is anybody in here? And so eventually I got to the bathroom, y'all. When I opened the bathroom, OMG, there was shit from the door all the way to the toilet. All the way to the toilet. And the lady, she felt so bad. She was like, "I'm sorry, I couldn't make it." And she was just crying. I'm like, "Ma'am, don't cry. No need to cry. I got you." And so I went and got some wash rags, some towels. And of course it was some stinky shit. Don't get me wrong. But I cleaned it up. I cleaned her up. I made her way, helped her to the bed. And ever since then, I've been wiping shit. I've been wiping ass and dealing with urine and throw up and all those things. No, I don't like to do it, but I'll do it because I have to do it, like get it out the way. So that's one of my nursing jewels. If you ever want to get into nursing, then you need to be able to handle shit, how to clean somebody, how to move somebody, clean somebody while they're in the bed, how to make up a bed with a person in it, all the things that you need as a CNA. That was my nursing background. So I advise, if you're thinking about nursing, go be a CNA first and see if you can handle it. Because if you can't, you're gonna hate your fucking job. You're gonna went through school and all these clinicals, and also another thing before I move on is, if you're doing nursing for the money because you want to be cute in your scrubs and you want to wear your little stethoscope and carry your clipboard, that's all and great, but it's not what it looks like. It's not what it seems at all. You got to care for these people. You got to be down and dirty. You got to roll your sleeves up. You have to, because if not, if you're doing it for everything else, you're going to hate your fucking job. You're going to hate it. And so I was a CNA for a long time, about 9 years. I went from call center jobs to nursing waitress jobs to CNA jobs. And I was discouraged because when I talked to people, about becoming an LPN, because that's the next step up. And big respects to the LPNs. They are nurses. They're not ever getting phased out, especially as long as there is a nursing home. So whoever got something to say about LPNs, fuck y'all. That's where I learned my nursing background. Between being a CNA and an LPN, those were the foundations that I needed to become a nurse. And so everybody was like, well, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to read a whole bunch of chapters. You're going to have a babysitter for your babysitter. It's going to be so difficult. And I was scared for the longest. I was scared for the longest. I was like, I don't know if I can do it. So what had happened was I got into a relationship, and my ex-husband, we've been together 2 years. 2 years. Right when he gets in trouble, goes to the feds, I get pregnant. Womp womp. And so all that time just being a dancer, being a real live dancer and a CNA and working these call center jobs, I got tired. I was like, okay, when he got out for good, I think my daughter was about 2 years old. I said, I done held it down for you. Now I need you to hold it down for me while I go to LPN school. You know what I'm saying? I said that, I'm tired. I remember being a dancer. I remember it's hard partying every day, being on, dibbling, dabbling, and find myself at somebody's house at 6 o'clock in the morning, daytime. I'm supposed to be asleep up here dibbling, dabbling. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not for me. I knew it was never for me. And so I'm like, I want to quit this lifestyle and I want to be a nurse. So when he got out, I applied. I had to take an exam to get into the LPN program, and I did. And so I had just started this church, and I said, Lord, if you help me get through this program, this LPN program, I will give my life to you. And I wasn't trying, and it's not like I was trying to negotiate with God, but I was just saying, I'm going to do this and I need you with me. And it was tough. It was probably the toughest program that I ever accomplished. It's like 1 week you there, next week you gone. Most of my friends I started with, at the end of it, it was just me. So, I brought my tissues, y'all. So I bought my tissue because we might have to cry in this motherfucker today. Because I'm telling you, my journey, it wasn't an easy one, but it was well worth it. From a CNA to a white coat. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Don't forget, we got some new episodes coming. Y'all gonna love it. So I got through LPN school and I made it as a nurse and everything was good. But in the meantime, I was dealing with a domestic relationship, a domestic marriage. And on top of that, I was dealing with my own insecurities, my mom, it was just a lot going on. And so I'm not going to lie to you. When you're trying to do something good, the devil's going to step in any way he can to distract you. So when I was in LPN school, I lost friends. Friends that used to hang out with me no longer did. And it's crazy because everybody was my friend when I was a dancer. Everybody was my friend when I was out here doing my thing. But now that I'm going to nursing school, it seems like, oh, they don't like that. Well, be prepared to lose some friends. Be prepared to miss some things. Be prepared to miss some parties. Be prepared because you're going to be dedicating all of your time to this program. But when I tell you, I made it. I graduated. And that was one of the best feelings I could ever have. And so moving on, I was like, okay, this ain't where it ends. So I went back to get my prerequisites to do the LPN to the 2-year RN, the ADN program at one of the HBCUs here in Nashville, Tennessee. And so I went to Vol State, and never in my life have I ever made an A in none of them classes. So I've been to college. I'm one of them people that been to college quite a few times. Get the financial aid money and then dip out, or this and that going on. So I got to leave. I got to withdraw. Or when I was younger, I didn't care. I just stopped going to class. So I had a real low GPA. I think I had a 0.818. But then when I got into Vol State, the community college, I started taking classes, and I'd be damn, everything that showed up in LPN school showed up at Vol State, honey. You should have seen, honey, they was mad at me. answering all the questions. I'm counting before I even open my mouth, just because I don't want to offend nobody. But I was cutting up. Do you hear me? I was like, what if I can get an A in anatomy? And I got that A. Then the next year, I was getting more A's, and I just started getting A's, and I made A's the entire time. So I replaced all those W's, all those F's with A's. And it was a blessing because my anatomy and physiology 2 teacher, she hired me as her student instructor, her supplemental instructor, SI. So basically I had keys, honey. They gave me some keys, and they gave me the teacher's parking, baby. I pulled up like, on that ass. I was like, this is awesome. And you know, half the time when people came in and asked me questions, I was like, Lord, please let me be able to help these people, because I ain't even did my own damn homework. But I was able to help people, and that inspired me, and that just refreshing the information. And so when it was time for me to transfer into that LPN bridge program, the college that I was going to lost their accreditation. So now I'm stuck with these classes. I'm at this school. And so I talked to my advisor, and she was like, Key, you ever thought about getting your bachelor's degree? I'm like, what? Get my bachelor's degree? No, I'm not trying to get no bachelor's. I was trying to get this 2 and be done. But that's when I realized that God had more for me. He saw more for me than I saw for myself. I had to pray about it, think about it. I'm like, okay. She said, well, Belmont, they have 19 seats for students every semester. You meet the qualifications, and so you should go for it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going for it. I'm going to Belmont. I'm telling her I'm going to Belmont. Well, the semester before I was supposed to be graduating with Belmont on my degree, come to find out, I had to take an ACT. Now, I'm 30-something. It had to take an ACT. I was 17 then. I took the ACT about 4 times. The highest I made was probably a 17. So not only am I taking my classes, working for the school, I'm also trying to get this damn ACT. And when I tell you, I took it so many times. I had so many teachers that were rooting for me. And I felt like I let them down, because the highest I got was 18. And that's too when I noticed that I had ADHD. And a teacher, she pulled me to the side and was like, Kiki, you're doing everything right, but you're just missing this one thing. You're missing here, you're missing there. And that's when I found out I also have dyscalculia. So numbers switch up on me. I don't transcribe them from the computer to the sheet right. Never made an A in math in my life. A bitch still struggles with multiplication, the 7, 8s, and 9s, okay? And the 6s too. But she worked with me, and she said, you know what? Show your work. I'll give you partial credit, and I'll be damned. That partial credit and going to the disability office, I had to go. It was like, well, in order for you to get extended time, because I was panicking. I couldn't think. I couldn't breathe. I'm nervous. So for anybody that gets like that with exams, especially in nursing school, if you're diagnosed with ADHD or anxiety, you can go to school and get accommodations to take your test in a separate room. You got more time. You know, you're by yourself. You got extra sheets of paper to write on. And I'll be damned, y'all. I made an A. So y'all give me a hand clap. Yeah, I made an A my first time making an A in math, but also noticing that I had an issue. However, I did not let that issue make it a reason why I couldn't do. I just worked around it. I had little Post-it notes everywhere. Make sure you try this twice. Make sure you do this twice. Make sure you do what you got to do. And so between finding out that I'm going to say slow, that's slow, but just finding out that I had some issues, I was able to correct them, you know, and I wish that I knew something was wrong in high school. I knew something was wrong in middle school, elementary. I hate that Black people, Black families, we brush mental health under the rug, knowing our kids are struggling. You know, I wish I would have got that help. I probably could have got extended time on the ACT. I probably could have got extended time on all those things, but because I didn't have those accommodations in early, it didn't help me. So I'm sitting here crying. I'm just like, Lord. I graduate Belmont. I can't pass this ACT, but you know what? God saw more for me than I saw for myself. And so Lipscomb University reached out to me. It called me late too, and his name was Reggie. I said, Reginald. I said, oh, he's a Reggie. He's black. I'm finna tell him my story and tell him, please help me. Not only did I not have to take the ACT for Lipscomb, I also was a candidate for the Transfer Trustee Scholarship, where they pick 5 students from each community college, and then those students write a resume, do an interview, and they tell their story. And I told my story, from the dancing to wanting to change my life to wanting this to help me and my family. And the scholarship, and I got it. I got that scholarship. Not only did I get that scholarship, that's to toot my own horn, toot, but I also got Graduate of the Year out of the whole body of graduates. They picked me. And, I thought that my work was going in vain, getting up every day, driving an hour to school, trying to help people, being a part of these clubs and really involved. I was really tired. I ain't gonna lie to you. Bitch was tired. But I was able to get that scholarship and go to Lipscomb, where I finished my last 2 years. And Lipscomb, let me tell you, that's a traditional college. I'm not a traditional student. I got kids. I got a husband. I got shit to do, So they didn't really like that they had to work with me, especially having a nurse in the program. But I made it. I got it. I got in there. And so just a bit of advice. Don't let nobody tell you something's going to be too hard. If it's for you and it keeps on dragging on you, it keeps on pulling on you, you keep on talking about that, I want this, I want to be that, fuck that shit. Apply. Everything that I did was because I took a chance. You got to take a chance. With this podcast, I took a chance. Now I'm 33 episodes in. Take a chance. Stop listening to everybody. Focus, because what is for you, and God, honey, if God give it to you, can't nobody take it away. So, but, the backstory, while I was going to Lipscomb, and Ball State, I was going through domestic behind closed doors. Nobody would have ever known, because when you're dealing with a narcissistic relationship, they want everything to look good on the outside, but then we go through hell on the inside. And so, behind closed doors. And so, dealing with that was tough. So I dealt with it. I did. So don't think that, it was just you did this, you did that. I had some hell. You're going to go through some hell. I'm telling you, you're going to go through some hell if you're trying to do something great. So be prepared for it. Shit, be prepared, but stay focused. Okay. So when I got my RN, I graduated from Lipscomb. I said, fuck this shit. I had already landed the job before I graduated. I got my girls. Honey, I clean sweep that house while he was gone to work. And I moved into my own apartment. I came in there with bags, okay? I came in there with bags. Yeah, honey, you should see my house now. It's very nice. I've been there about 5 years. But I came in there with nothing. And I built my way back up. And when you're dealing with a bitter, narcissistic man, they're going to do everything that they can, especially if you got kids, to try to turn the kids on you, try to take them away from you, because it's like, you can't hurt me now. You can't cuss me out now. You can't talk to me any kind of way now, because when that door closed, this is my shit, okay? So dealing with him, that was a tough transition. I'm talking about niggas so mad, called DHS on you. And you know what? When you dig a ditch for somebody, you always end up following in it. And the case was closed. Them ladies, by the end of it, they were podcast fans. Okay? Like, don't worry about it. God got you. God got you. He gonna fight your battles for you, because he sure did mine, Lord. Because I wanted to fight him myself, but I had too much to lose, and that's what the devil wants. That's what he wants. So I pulled back. So come to find out, there was a psych ward about 3 minutes from my house. I applied for it, got the job. I got the job. And so with that being said, I worked there for a few years. That's where I was inspired to do a mental health podcast. That's where I was inspired because there were other students there that were getting their psych nurse practitioner. That's where I was inspired to start school. So that's when I started this podcast, when I moved to my place and started the program. Now I can officially say that I've graduated from ETSU. That's where I went. And I am now a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So let's get it straight. On my disclaimer, I said, I am not a mental health clinician that's allowed to give you medical advice to go do some dumb shit. Yes, I said dumb shit, okay? We ain't finna be doing no dumb shit. So moving along, that was my journey. Now I'm in the Psych DNP program. I'm getting my doctorate and probably a few semesters in. And I'm thriving. I'm doing great. And so that's mainly my career ladder right now. I'm over 2 facilities. I see psych patients at 2 nursing home facilities. Ain't that funny? You see how when it's for you, it comes right back. And it's at 2 facilities that I was a CNA at. Ain't that something? Now I'm coming in like, big dog, big. Hey, honey, let's give a applause for that. So to just say I have gone through many struggles getting through these nursing programs, but I never gave up. So some tips I want to give you to make you successful. The very one motherfucking tip, if you don't get this through your head, is to get organized. You got to get organized because I'm going to tell you, you got assignments, you got discussion board posts, you got clinicals, you got to work, you got kids, they got appointments. You need that on a planner. You need to highlight this one color, this another color. Get organized. Copy your shit. Use your works printer. Honey, copy your stuff, okay? And get organized. That way you can see things in advance. If I got an assignment, I can see that from looking at my planner 2 weeks from now. Where if I got this to do, that to do, get organized. Also, I always listen to Motiversary. It's they're basically like testimonials. It gives you, it's videos that give you what I'm trying to say, motivation. So you got motivational speakers. Anytime I feel like I'm low, I'll pop one of them in, I'll listen to it, and it give me some motivation. Also, create you a space. You need a special space where you are doing your work. You know, you are far from distractions. Even if you have to do your work outside of home, you want to make sure that you have a dedicated workspace. And like I said, be prepared to lose some friends. Be prepared to miss some things. Be prepared to be not invited. And that's okay, because your real friends are the ones that are going to stick by you. They're going to stick by you when times get tough. And they're going to stick by you and motivate you. They're not going to try to stray you away from what the fuck you got to do, okay? And keep God first, because you're going to need some kind of spiritual community. Whatever you pray to, you're going to need it. And that's okay, because that's who's going to console you when you need to be consoled. Put people in the places where they need to go. So those are my tips. And if any nurses have any tips or need any inspiration, honey, share this with a friend. And then also, if you can give tips, put it down there in the discussion below, in the comments below. Because one thing I'm going to be real with you. I'm going to keep it funky with you. You're going to go through some things. You're going to stress about some things, but you will get through it. Just don't say if I, say when I. Get you a vision board. I made a vision board, and most of it is already completed. I look at it every day. It's almost completed. So, yeah. See the vision, make it plain. And I believe that's all of the advice that I can give you. And so we're going to take one more sip for the road. Here we go. Fire. So I can't wait for y'all to see the next few episodes we got coming out. Thank you for your time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment below. If you got a testimony, share this with a friend. And I'm out. Peace.